My colleague tries to defame my name in my new office, but karma hits back and she is fired. I, 28F, started working at a prestigious marketing firm in the city 6 months ago. This job was a significant step up from my previous position at a small local agency in my hometown. I was thrilled about the opportunity, not just because of the better pay and benefits, but also because it meant I was finally making progress in my career after years of hard work. To give you some background, I grew up in a small town where my parents ran a family-owned bakery. From a young age, they instilled in me the values of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. I watched them wake up at 4 a.m. every day to prepare fresh bread and pastries, rarely taking a day off. Their work ethic was inspirational, and it shaped my approach to life and career. Throughout high school, I balanced my studies with helping at the bakery and participating in various extracurricular activities. I was determined to get into a good college and make something of myself. When I got accepted into a reputable university with partial scholarship, it was a dream come true. However, I knew I'd have to work part-time to cover the remaining expenses. College was challenging, to say the least. I juggled a full course load with a part-time job at the campus coffee shop. There were countless nights where I'd close the shop at 11 p.m., then head straight to the library to study until the early hours of the morning. It was exhausting, but I was driven by the desire to make my parents proud and secure a better future for myself. My hard work paid off when I graduated with honors and landed an entry-level position at a local marketing agency. I spent 3 years there, soaking up knowledge and experience like a sponge. I volunteered for every project I could, often staying late to ensure everything was perfect. My dedication caught the attention of my superiors, and I received glowing recommendations when I decided to apply for positions at larger firms in the city. That's how I ended up at my current job. From day one, I applied the same work ethic that had gotten me this far. I arrived early, stayed late when needed, and always went the extra mile on assignments. The company culture seemed great at first, and most of my coworkers were welcoming and supportive. My direct supervisor, Mark, 45mm, quickly took notice of my dedication. He began assigning me more challenging tasks and praising my work during team meetings. I was thrilled that my efforts were being recognized and felt like I was finally on the path to achieving my career goals. However, this is where the trouble started. One of my coworkers, Lisa, 35mm, who had been at the company for 5 years, seemed to take issue with the attention I was receiving. At first, it was just cold shoulders and snide comments. I tried to brush it off, thinking she might be having a rough time personally. I even tried to befriend her, inviting her to lunch and asking for her input on projects, but she always had an excuse to decline. About 2 months ago, our team was assigned a major project for a new client, a well-known tech startup that could potentially bring in millions in revenue for our firm. The deadline was incredibly tight, and we all knew it would require some late nights and weekend work. I volunteered to take on a significant portion of the work, seeing it as a great opportunity to prove myself further. One particular night stands out in my memory. I had stayed at the office until around 11 p.m. to finish up some crucial presentations. Mark was also there, reviewing the work and providing feedback. We ordered takeout and worked side by side, completely focused on the project. The office was quiet except for the clicking of our keyboards and the occasional discussion about the presentation strategy. It was exhausting but productive, and I felt proud of what we'd accomplished. The next day, I noticed Lisa whispering to some colleagues and giving me strange looks. I didn't think much of it until our weekly team meeting. As Mark was praising the progress on the project and specifically mentioning my contributions, Lisa suddenly spoke up. She said, "I think we all know why certain people are getting special treatment. Some of us saw what was really going on during that late-night work session." The room went silent. I was confused at first, but then it hit me. She was implying that something inappropriate had happened between Mark and me. I felt my face go red with anger and embarrassment. Here I was, working my hardest to prove myself and make my parents proud, and Lisa was trying to reduce all my efforts to a cheap office affair. Mark looked shocked and asked Lisa to explain herself. She went on to claim that she had come back to the office to pick up something she'd forgotten and saw Mark and me in a compromising position. It was a complete lie, but she spoke with such conviction that some of our coworkers seemed to believe her. I was furious and hurt. Not only was Lisa trying to discredit my hard work, but she was also potentially damaging my reputation and career. Everything I had worked for, the long nights studying in college, the years of dedication at my previous job, the sacrifices I'd made to move to the city for this opportunity, all of it was at risk because of this baseless lie. I spoke up immediately, denying her claims and offering to show the work I'd completed that night as proof of what I'd been doing. My voice was shaking, partly from anger and partly from fear of not being believed. I even offered to pull up the order history from the takeout app to prove we had simply been working and eating. Mark backed me up, explaining that we had been working on the project and nothing more. He seemed angry that Lisa would make such accusations. However, the damage was done. I could see doubt on some of my coworkers' faces. A few of them, people I had considered friends, were avoiding eye contact with me. After the meeting, I went straight to HR to report what had happened. I was scared that this lie could ruin everything I'd worked for. The HR manager, a kind woman named Janet, assured me they would investigate the matter thoroughly. She advised me to document everything and to continue focusing on my work while they looked into the situation. Over the next week, I felt like I was walking on eggshells at work. Some colleagues were supportive, pulling me aside to say they didn't believe Lisa's accusations. Others, however, seemed to be buying into the story. I overheard whispers and caught people staring at me when they thought I wasn't looking. It was a miserable experience, and I even considered quitting. The thought of letting go of this opportunity was heartbreaking, but the hostile environment was taking a toll on my mental health. I called my parents during this time, seeking their advice. They reminded me of all the challenges I'd overcome to get where I was and encouraged me to stand my ground. My mom's words stuck with me. Truth always prevails, sweetie. Just keep doing your best and the rest will fall into place. The investigation concluded after reviewing security footage and interviewing staff who had been in the office that night. Proved that Lisa's claims were false. She had never even entered the building that evening. The security logs showed that only Mark and I had been there past 9 p.m. As a result, Lisa was fired for spreading malicious rumors and creating a hostile work environment. While I felt relieved that the truth came out, I can't help but feel guilty. I never wanted anyone to lose their job, even if they had wronged me. I kept thinking about Lisa's family and how this might affect them. Some of my coworkers have said I did the right thing, but others think I overreacted by going to HR. They argue that office gossip happens all the time and I should have just ignored it. One colleague even suggested that I should have confronted Lisa privately instead of running to HR. I'm conflicted. On one hand, I feel like I had to stand up for myself and my reputation. On the other hand, I wonder if there was a way to resolve this without someone losing their job. The whole situation has left me feeling drained and unsure of myself. So, Reddit? ETA for reporting Lisa and ultimately getting her fired? Should I have handled the situation differently? I'm really struggling with this and could use outside perspective. Update 1: It's been about a month since my original post and I want to thank everyone for their support and advice. Your comments really helped me navigate this difficult situation and gave me the confidence to stand my ground. A lot has happened since then and I wanted to share an update. After Lisa was fired, the office atmosphere was tense for a while. Some people were clearly on my side while others seemed to resent me for Lisa's dismissal. I tried to keep my head down and focus on my work, but it was challenging. There were days when I felt like every eye in the office was on me, judging my every move. About a week after the incident, I was called into a meeting with Mark and the head of our department, Sarah, 50F. I was nervous, thinking maybe there would be some repercussions for me despite being cleared of wrongdoing. My mind raced with possibilities. Maybe they thought I was too much trouble. Or perhaps they were going to ask me to transfer to another department to keep the peace. To my surprise, they informed me that due to my excellent performance on the recent project, they were considering me for a promotion. The project I had worked so hard on, staying late nights and sacrificing my weekends, had been a huge success with the client. They were impressed not only with my work but also with how I handled the difficult situation with Lisa. However, given the recent drama, they wanted to be sure I was comfortable with this and that it wouldn't cause more issues in the office. Sarah explained that while they believed in rewarding good work, they were also concerned about team dynamics. I was conflicted. On one hand, I was thrilled at the recognition of my hard work. This was exactly the kind of opportunity one had been hoping for when I took this job. On the other hand, I worried that accepting a promotion so soon after the Lisa incident would only fuel resentment among my colleagues. I could already imagine the whispers. See, she really did sleep her way to the top. After some thought, I decided to be honest with Mark and Sarah. I expressed my concerns about how a promotion might be perceived and suggested that we wait a few months to let things settle down. They appreciated my honesty and agreed it might be best to revisit the idea in the future. Sarah even commended me for considering the team's well-being, saying it showed leadership potential. In the meantime, I threw myself into my work even more. I made a conscious effort to collaborate with different team members, hoping to build better relationships and prove myself through actions rather than words. I started coming in a little earlier to chat with colleagues over coffee, and I made sure to acknowledge everyone's contributions during team meetings. About 2 weeks ago, something unexpected happened. I received an email from Lisa. At first, I was tempted to delete it without reading, but curiosity got the better of me. In the email, Lisa apologized for her actions. She explained that she had been going through a difficult divorce and was struggling with depression, which had affected her behavior at work. She said this wasn't an excuse for what she'd done, but she wanted me to understand where her actions came from. Lisa went on to say that losing her job had been a wake-up call. She had started therapy and was working on herself. She didn't ask for forgiveness or to be rehired, just for me to know that she regretted her actions and wished me well. She also mentioned that she had sent a formal apology to the company, acknowledging her wrongdoing. I was stunned. I hadn't expected to hear from Lisa, let alone receive an apology. It took me a few days to process my feelings about it. While I appreciated her honesty, the hurt she caused wasn't easy to forget. I thought about all the sleepless nights I'd had, worrying about my reputation and career. After some reflection and a long phone call with my parents, I decided to respond to Lisa's email. I thanked her for her apology and wished her well in her journey of self-improvement. I made it clear that while I couldn't forget what happened, I held no ill will towards her and hoped she would find success in the future. Writing that email was harder than I expected, but afterwards I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. This exchange brought me some closure and helped me move past the incident. I shared what happened with a few trusted coworkers, and word slowly spread through the office. Surprisingly, this seemed to ease some of the tension. People who had been skeptical of me began to warm up, perhaps seeing that I wasn't out for revenge, but just wanted to do my job well. As for the promotion, Mark and Sarah approached me again last week. They said they had observed my behavior over the past month and were impressed with how I had handled the situation. They officially offered me the promotion, saying they believed I had proven my ability to lead and manage difficult situations. This time, I accepted. The announcement was made yesterday, and to my relief, it was met with mostly positive reactions from my colleagues. A few people even approached me to apologize for doubting me during the Lisa incident. I feel like I'm finally able to move forward and focus on my career without the shadow of what happened hanging over me. It's been a challenging experience, but I've learned a lot about office politics, the importance of integrity, and how to navigate difficult situations professionally. Thank you again, Reddit, for your support and advice. It really made a difference in how I approached this situation. I'm looking forward to this new chapter in my career and feel more prepared than ever to face whatever challenges come my way. Update 2. It's been 6 months since my last update, and I wanted to share some final thoughts on this whole experience. So much has changed, both professionally and personally, and I feel like I've grown immensely from this challenging situation. The promotion has been both challenging and rewarding. I'm now leading a small team of 5 people, and I've made it my mission to foster a positive and supportive work environment. The lessons I learned from the Lisa incident have shaped my leadership style significantly. I'm hyper-aware of team dynamics and always strive to address any conflicts or misunderstandings immediately and transparently. One of my first acts as team leader was to implement a mentorship program. I paired up newer employees with more experienced ones, focusing on building strong professional relationships. This has helped reduce office politics and gossip, as people are more focused on collaboration than competition. I've also instituted an open-door policy, encouraging my team members to come to me with any concerns or ideas they might have. About 2 months into my new role, we had a company-wide meeting where the CEO addressed the issue of workplace harassment and false accusations. Without naming names, he used my situation as an example of how destructive such behavior can be. He announced new policies to prevent similar incidents in the future, including stricter consequences for spreading malicious rumors and a more thorough investigation process for any accusations. There's also now mandatory training on workplace ethics and harassment for all employees. This meeting sparked some interesting conversations among my colleagues. Many approached me privately to express their support and admiration for how I handled the situation. A few even shared their own experiences with workplace gossip and harassment, which made me realize how common these issues are. It was eye-opening and reinforced my commitment to creating a positive work environment. On a personal note, the whole experience led me to start volunteering at a local organization that supports women in the workplace. I've been sharing my story and helping others navigate difficult professional situations. It's been incredibly rewarding, and I feel like I'm turning a negative experience into something positive. I've even been invited to speak at a few local business events about my experience and the importance of integrity in the workplace. As for Lisa, I haven't heard from her directly since that email. However, I did run into a mutual acquaintance at a networking event who mentioned that Lisa had found a new job at a smaller firm and seemed to be doing well. While I still can't fully forgive what she did, I'm glad to hear she's moved on and hope she's learned from the experience. It's a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's always a chance for growth and redemption. The atmosphere in the office has completely transformed. The tension that lingered after the incident has dissipated, and there's a new focus on teamwork and mutual support. I'd like to think I played a part in this change, but it's really been a collective effort from everyone in the company. We've had team-building exercises, implemented a peer recognition program, and even started a company softball team. These initiatives have helped build stronger bonds between colleagues and departments. My relationship with Mark has evolved into a strong mentorship. He's been guiding me through the challenges of my new leadership role and has even hinted at the possibility of further advancement in the future. I'm grateful for his support and trust in me, especially after everything that happened. Looking back, I'm proud of how I handled the situation. It would have been easy to lash out or seek revenge, but taking the high road and focusing on my work ultimately led to better outcomes for everyone involved. I've realized that integrity and perseverance are not just personal values, but professional assets as well. This experience has taught me valuable lessons about resilience, the importance of maintaining integrity, and the power of open communication in the workplace. I've grown not just professionally, but personally as well. I'm more confident in my abilities, more empathetic towards others, and better equipped to handle difficult situations. My parents visited me recently, and as we sat in my new apartment, an upgrade I could afford thanks to the promotion, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. I told them about everything that had happened, and my mom hugged me tight, saying, "See, we always knew you were destined for great things." It was a moment that made all the hardships worthwhile. To anyone facing similar situations, my advice would be to stay true to yourself, document everything, and don't be afraid to stand up for what's right. It might be difficult in the moment, but it's worth it in the long run. Build a support network, both inside and outside of work, and don't hesitate to seek professional help if the stress becomes overwhelming. I've also learned the importance of giving people second chances. While I couldn't continue working with Lisa, I've tried to approach other conflicts with more empathy and understanding. Sometimes people act out because of their own struggles, and a little compassion can go a long way in resolving issues. The experience has also made me more aware of the challenges women often face in the workplace. I've become an advocate for equality and fair treatment, not just in my company, but in my industry as a whole. I've joined professional women's networks, and I'm always looking for ways to support and uplift other women in their careers. On a lighter note, I've finally found a work-life balance that works for me. While I still work hard, I've learned the importance of setting boundaries and taking time for myself. I've picked up yoga and started taking cooking classes, something I've always wanted to do but never found the time for. It's amazing how much more productive and creative I am at work when I'm taking care of myself outside of it. As I look to the future, I'm excited about the possibilities. There are talks of our firm expanding to new markets, and I'm hoping to play a key role in that growth. I feel prepared for whatever challenges come my way, knowing that I have the strength and integrity to handle them. Thank you once again, Reddit, for being there during one of the most challenging periods of my professional life. Your support and advice were invaluable, and I'm grateful for this community. To anyone out there facing workplace drama or feeling undervalued, remember that you have the power to shape your own narrative. Stand firm in your truth, work hard, and don't let anyone dim your light. If there's one final thing I've learned from all of this, it's that our careers are marathons, not sprints. There will be ups and downs, but it's how we handle them that defines us. Here's to all of us running our own races, supporting each other along the way, and crossing whatever finish lines we set for ourselves.